Mic is on. And now you should be audible.
Hello. How is everyone doing? Your relay's off, right? We're good?
Yeah, you should be audible.
Cool. We'll give it a little bit of time for people to jump in. Sometimes it takes a little bit. Hopefully people have been having a good day today. Been very rainy where I'm at. It rained the entire day for like 3 days. So much water.
Why is egg? Why not?
Because chicken. Actually, I made some chicken fried rice earlier. It was really good.
First question of the day. Why is egg? Why not? Sage advice.
Like we do all other office hours, if you have a question about Resonite or how we work on things or anything in game, just send the question in the chat with a question mark at the end, and it will pop up on a board over here for us that we can pull out, like we just did with the egg question.
Mm-hmm. Just make sure to end it with a question mark.
Yep. And ignore my legs; they don't like the couch. Oh, did you want to talk about like where we are? Actually, I haven't seen this world.
You've probably seen, folks in this chat probably seen it before in some streams or in the MMC. It's I also streamed it before too. It is a really nice place. It's called Seraphim.
Mm.
It is a
Isn't
MMC
that Seraphim?
entry. Seraphim,
like,
yes.
Like the angel thing?
Yes.
Hmm. There's a lot of art here. It's cool.
By the Hamocorp team. You've done an excellent job with this world.
Yeah, it looks good. The art team's been busy working on the tutorial stuff and the universe.
Yes. Been doing a lot of the technical side of things, like actually not really a spoiler, but like if I could go into my screenshots here. Come on, ShareX. I do a copy, and if I go into here, as you can see, this is an entire spreadsheet that Rue and I have been going through and organizing.
Mm-hmm. That's just part of it, but there's a lot of items in there. We've been using that to keep track of all the stuff that we have set up. And one thing I'll note is once we get the locale strings set up for it, anyone wanting to do translation for any of those objects, it's going to be a little weird because we have it set up so that the name of the object is used in a API request for Wikipedia. So later, probably later today, we're going to go through and rename a lot of the objects to the similar name that they would use on a Wikipedia article, just so the wiki thing works. That also means that if someone's doing a localization translation, they would need to make sure that that name is translated to their Wikipedia localization as well.
Yeah, because Wiki has like, depending on if it has a translation or not, it'll have that page, and we'll go through and see if we can find the pages that exist for it, or at least
Mm-hmm.
manually add in the ones that have mentions of it, depending on what it is. Because that's like another function of the universe experience, because every single thing within the universe experience has like a clickable link above it, kind of like how users within Resonite, if you click their username, it goes to their profile. It would be the same thing, but for like a wiki page that'll pop up and like read the text and gather some images depending on what it is and put it in a uh, kind of like a UI reader that's on the main pedestal in it.
Mm-hmm. And that's so that if you're not sure what an object is, or if you just want to know more about a certain object within the experience, you can just click on its name, and it'll take you to the Wikipedia page article. There's probably some other ways we could think about doing it, like maybe just have the thing open Wikipedia, but like a browser for it. But having
Yeah,
it in world is nice because then people can just read it from the panel that's there. Getting it to work is a little tricky, but it works for now.
yeah. The other thing that we've been doing is the tutorial, and lately I've been going through gathering ancient like designs we had when we first started Resonite, getting those together, getting like the reference images, collecting them, organizing them into different references, like what is it from, what kind of like features we're looking at with those, and kind of like doing that to kind of build upon what kind of art style we have, and eventually building the foundation of making a guide for not only us on a team if we want to follow a guide to make more content in a certain style, but also kind of like how other games or platforms do it. They release like a document of like how they did things, whether it be like modeling, texturing,
Mm-hmm.
references, design philosophy, all of that. That'll be also done while the tutorial is being done, anyways, because we're going to be polishing up our art style as well too. It's going to be a new building set as well. We're not at the point of modeling that stuff yet. We're still at the point of like getting all the mechanics and flow laid out for what a user is going to go through and learn about in that tutorial, which is a well, it doesn't need that art style or whatnot yet. It's just blocking phase, getting like user
Kind
needs
of
to
like
learn
storyboarding, but in 3D.
storyboarding and white boxing. There we go.
Yeah.
Yeah, we do have a couple of questions now too. Actually, I believe someone did make a desk set already. As Protoflux or Protogen Flux mentioned. So, oh, that's the wrong question. There we go. This isn't a real question, but they just you remember the camo visual that is used on alien rescue teleporters and such? Visibility effect. Ooh. I would have to take a look at that at some point when you get some time.
I thought it was still using the hexagon thing that I put on it. It's been a while since I've looked in there.
They're adapting it for avatars,
Mm,
which would be pretty cool. And that's like active camo from like Halo or uh, Predator.
that's neat.
Or what was it? There was another game I was trying to think of. Crisis. There we go. There's that too. This is another question. This time from SNB8272. What does the Resonite graphic design team think of Into the Radius 2 releasing out of early access today after 2 years of development? So I'm not too familiar with it, other than its inspirations and some of the gameplay. Looking at it, like some trailers here and there, it's inspired by the game series Stalker, and that like 2 years. I did not know that it had that long of development.
I've played it, and it's fun. I kind of like the gunplay and the secrets that they have in a few places, like the fact that you can go and find stuff around in the like pub area too. But I'm also just not much of an extraction shooter kind of person. I do like the stalker like theme though. Um, and stalker doesn't really like, refer to like a game or a specific game or um, like anything specific. It's like a theme pretty much. A
Yeah,
lot of them are actually based on the I think it was a movie made in the 70s called Stalker. Um, it's an interesting movie. It's very long.
as well as a book.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, no, I just
Essentially, basically
eh.
the after effects of Chernobyl and supernatural elements surrounding it.
Well, the original media was a bit different.
Mm,
I can't like remember it fully, but it was some kind of meteors crashed, and people were trying to get to it because it would like grant you a wish. And a lot of people had a bunch of different reasons to want to get to it.
many different factions fighting for it.
Mm-hmm. But it would create like instability in physics and stuff around the area.
I'll probably have to take a look at that. Been wanting to
They
try
have the
out
whole movie
into
on YouTube.
been wanting to try Into the Radius at some point anyways. That's one thing I'm gonna probably put on my wish list.
Mm-hmm.
Actually both games too.
I should probably try it out again just to see how much it's changed because the last time I played it was when it first came out and it was still in early access.
My partner is incredibly into Stalker and like things tangentially related to that too. So definitely seen
Hmm.
gameplay of
Thank
it
you for this up.
both. Uh, Zeravax VR. Okay, yeah, Zeravax VR. Thank you for the sub. Zero. Okay.
And yeah, for avatars, it makes sense to move away from the like structured design. Hexagons work for something that is very uniform.
Hmm.
It's okay. People say names like their own way, pretty much with whatever name you have. People will call me Rui sometimes.
Or Rushing. Or Shejin.
Oh, here's a good one. This question.
I'll bring that up on the screen here. This one from computer_user. How often do people come up to you in game and ask questions about Resonite development stuffs, and how do you react to these questions? It can happen from time to time, whether it be from friends or like random folks, and depending on if if it's something that we can like answer on, we try to just you know answer the best. If we know about it. If not, then we just delegate to the office hours. And if we're busy or just wanting to relax, also, this right here is the perfect place to ask the questions. And if
Yeah.
anybody is not able to watch these or participate live, they can still participate in asking questions in the Discord under the forum posts. So, Yeah. I did create the forum post for next week as well too. And the VODs for the previous ones, since we changed to the new channel, I forgot to unprivate them because since we're doing a new setup with YouTube, we have our own actual individual YouTube accounts that are editors of this new channel. Instead of signing into the Resonite channel, I have to upload them as private, and then once it's all said and done, then set it to public, because the permissions does not allow me to just, okay, set it up, publish it when it's done scanning or whatnot. It doesn't let me do that, so I have to get into that. And not only download the VOD for this channel, but also how many others? Let me look at my calendar.
Well,
Wrong
I wanted
thing.
to talk about the question as well a little bit.
Go ahead.
Um, this is definitely the best place to put your questions, rather than say coming up to us in world, because a lot of the times, if you guys see us running around, we're just trying to hang out with people and talk and see what's going on, maybe do some fun stuff or hang out. And I mean, a lot of us generally don't mind answering questions here and there, but sometimes people can ask a lot of questions, especially in world, which is fine. But it's a lot easier to answer your questions in this kind of setting where we can sit down and think about it. There's not much going on. Sometimes we can even showcase like answers to those things. And randomly in world, it's a little bit harder to do that. And it's not always the easiest place to like show someone something protoflux or component. Um, so doing it here on the streams or in Discord is a lot better than in world.
SNV was talking about the developers of Into the Radius, about like their
Mm-hmm.
color palette. Basically, what they were going for is like a muted tone that you would see in like more kind of like grounded or realistic movies or games.
Mm-hmm.
Especially in like the early 2000s, it changed from like that yellow filter to like more muted colors into like the mid 2010s for like realistic games and even some sci-fi games and such, where it gives it a more gritty, dark feel, especially when it comes to like Batman, where it has like that dark, or even sometimes almost grayscale, depending on what it
We had a
is.
similar phase because we did the MTC, which was very sterile and light and
Monochrome.
gray. Yeah, it was monochrome. Um, and then when we were thinking about the Dawn style, we wanted it to be really warm, and a lot of us liked. There were a bunch of designers that made, or designers and architects from the '70s that we liked the architecture of, and we ended up going with the somewhat '70s style, like warm theme, which is why the carpets are like yellow, and then there's a lot of wood accents. Um, it just feels a lot more homey than the other one.
Yeah. We didn't want to go into like a modern, like sleek grayscale aesthetic. If you look
It's
at
like '70s futurism is what we ended up doing.
with Magitech, like think of that plus um things like the game Myst is a heavy inspiration for it because of like the circular designs, the technology that is almost like magic, but not too unfamiliar or alien. It's just it works, and a bit
Mm-hmm.
of organic and mechanical looks at the same time.
That's what I like about some of the sci-fi stuff. It doesn't quite need to make sense. It just needs to make sense in its context. And as long as you keep that consistent, then it just feels nice and believable.
Not really a question, but here's a question for you, Rue. What are the social, economical implications of the box collider?
Well, they keep everything up. They're the most used collider, so it's very important. And probably are standing on one right now. So
Yeah, and made out of them too, as well as capsule colliders and spheres. Although the Sphere has it beat in regards of affordability, it is the most cheapest collider ever. It's up
Yeah.
there with the cylinder next in line and the capsule. Actually, I think the cylinder is probably more expensive than a capsule.
Oh, and you know what? Here's a PSA. If you import an item or are building a world and you are using mesh colliders in a bunch of places, highly recommend replacing those. In fact, most mesh collider components, actually all of them, I'm sorry, I don't know why I said most, all of them come with a little handy button that says replace with box collider. And that instantly converts the mesh collider into a box collider that is set up by like the bounds of the object.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, it's not going to work for every item, but for items that you can apply this to, definitely recommend it. It's going to make your worlds run a lot better. It's going to make people lag less. Um, Especially like weirdly enough, if you have a really small mesh collidable object and that like touches someone, it causes a lot of lag.
You
So
you can
yeah.
also do a similar thing to spheres. If you have a spherical object, then you need to add a collider, like a sphere collider, roughly in the size of it. It uses the bounding box for it and scales that collider accordingly. Same thing with the cylinder, but do keep in mind the y-axis, the green axis arrow is like the height. It's like how the collider faces up and down, and you can like scale a collider accordingly by literally clicking a button and it'll automatically adjust it if it's in the right orientation. I don't know if it does it for things like capsule colliders or cones, but technically under the hood, cone colliders are just literally convex hulls.
You have to manually set up the orientation for those objects before you put the collider on it. Otherwise, it's going to be in the
Sometimes.
same axis.
Sometimes.
Yeah, because it depends on the orientation of the model. So you just need
Yeah.
to make sure that that model's orientation is correct.
Yeah.
You
And
can put like an offset on it and then bake it, and that fixes it. Like a
that too.
yeah.
And as well as Protogen Flux also mentioned, this is a feature as well too. You can basically break down a model into convex hulls as well too if it's a complex object.
Mm-hmm. I'm actually
And
using convex hulls for a lot of the rock assets that we use in a bunch of places.
and as I mentioned earlier, Bappler, the capsule collider is likely cheaper than the cylinder collider because it has two flat sides on the cylinder and two sphere caps on the capsule, and it's like just an extruded cylinder.
Mm-hmm.
And here's a good question from Zira. What kind of questions do we ask the art team? Well, it's within the name a bit too. Art. What
Mm-hmm.
kind of design process we have for in-game or external content even. Some of it kind of bleeds into marketing a little bit, and since we work on making worlds, avatars, protoflux, etc., we bleed into working on stuff with the business side of things and also
It could even
engine.
be on the like programs that we use for things too.
Yes, whether it be Blender, Substance Painter, GIMP,
Yeah.
Krita, you name it.
In some cases, even like DaVinci Resolve has been used in a couple places. Like it's
Mm-hmm.
free, very useful. There's a bunch
There's
of like software that we use that is just free, open source, which makes it a lot easier on the whole legal side.
there's another software that is similar to DaVinci Resolve that I'm going to try out, and I'm trying to remember the name of it, and it's one that I don't have to make like an account for it anyways too, which is even better.
I don't think I needed to account for DaVinci Resolve, or at least the one that I have.
Well, usually that's the only thing it asks you is to sign in or sign up. That's all, and it's just free. It's just they want you to have an
Mm-hmm.
account so that you can easily buy like add-ons for it, just like
Yeah.
Yeah, like Unity or whatnot.
You can really ask us any question. I mean, if we can't answer it, we'll let you know where the best place to ask that question is so that you
Yes.
can get an answer.
Yeah, if you ask us like a technical question, we could try our best, but also just for something like that, probably be best for either Prime's office hours, which is on Tuesday, or Frux's Resonance podcast on Sundays, as well as you'll find all that info in the discords and event calendars. I know J4 does theirs at some point too, every other week.
But yeah, we're pretty much open to any questions. We even showcase some stuff like on here sometimes, like with components or protoflux, if we can.
What was KDE again?
It's a Linux environment, isn't it?
It's like I've been starting to get into Linux myself too. Been wanting to set up a Endeavor on Endeavor OS, but I do have a Ventoy uh, flash drive set up. It's basically like a thing where you can boot multiple operating systems on. I just downloaded a few of them. Things like Haiku OS to Bazite, Endeavor, which is the one I'm going to try to use. Uh, Catchy OS. I know Veer has been using that a lot. Ravi's looking at Endeavor as well as Frooks.
I've seen
Linux
Bazite run on everything.
desktop environment. Okay, yeah, that's what I figured when I was setting up Endeavor, because there was one that looked more like a Mac in Windows 11 where it has like the bottom row of apps, and then one that is like KDE Plasma, as mentioned in chat. That's the one that I used, which looks more like Windows, and I'm more used to that. Although probably what I am going to do is similar to what Protogen Flux is doing, making Windows XP themed Arch. I mean, I'm technically using Arch as well too, by the way. Uh, and
I
yeah,
have it set up like your Rezo 98 theme.
yeah, exactly. I have the start button already set up for that, and what am I saying? I have it in my inventory.
I wish I could get like the Windows 7 theme back. I
You
liked the
could.
glassy stuff they were doing, like the Windows glass button that they had for the start menu. Now it's just like a flat square.
The
They lost
same
like all their identity. It's so bad.
the same thing that Proton Flux is doing to their operating system, you could 100% do to make it look like Windows 7 also.
A single update and it would all be gone.
That's why you set it up as like a template you just quickly set up. And you just click a button and it sets it as a theme.
I used to have one like that for Halo Reach. Yeah, I might still have it somewhere. All the menu sounds and everything were like the
Oh, there
Halo
we
Reach
go.
main menu.
There we go. This is a little button I used when I was using a thing called not window blinds. That's like the original paid software, but there was like Open Shell. That's like a thing for Windows where you can. Perfect. There we go. But yeah, it's a thing in Windows that you can use to basically set up and yeah, put your
Okay.
own like fonts and window shapes and colors, icons, etc. And bring back the old start menu. Like the old start menu. depending on what you
Windows
want.
11 one is crazy. It's got like versions of Windows that you can open things in now.
Huh.
Like if you had anything installed before upgrading to Windows 11, it'll like have an entire section of like Windows 11 app or Windows 10 apps and Windows 8 apps. This computer's gone from like 8 to 11, so it's
I have, like last time I just got a, was it Proton and Wine set up at least so I can like get compatibility. So I can gradually like convert things or just have compatibility to just not have to reinstall things. Because I have Blender installed. I'm gonna get like the native Linux Blender builds, but I still have so much Blender builds, like 5 of them on my PC, that are all Windows that all have different add-ons on it. So,
mm-hmm.
yeah.
So someone didn't ask a question, um, but they did put it in chat. Um, so they're talking about like making a menu for new users that allows them to go through it just more simply. We actually are making a new tutorial entirely that's going to replace the current one, like fully, and it's going to be uh, easier and more in depth at the same time. We want to make it so that it's not just like an info dump straight away. We're even like editing the process of getting into Resonite as a new user. Because right now, if you are fresh, you like just downloaded Resonite, you don't have an account. When you start up Resonite, it asks you for an account and your language and like a bunch of other things. And we want to do is make that process a lot smoother, as smooth as possible. Um, and we have a few things in mind to try to make that process smoother. One thing is there actually is a GitHub issue for it on GitHub if you want to see it. I can't remember the numbers. I'll have to go find them. But it's essentially for letting your Steam account be used as kind of like a temporary account, and then you can basically just open Resonite, and you don't have to worry about all of that stuff. Um, it just
I'm
goes
gonna
straight into the tutorial world without having to go through any menus.
I'm gonna
And then yeah,
interrupt you about an important question here. I have a question for you, Director Pumpkin. Has this been happening recently? Like, how recent has this been happening? Because that's a bug that we've been trying to fix multiple times.
I'm pretty sure that's the one we fixed recently, isn't it?
That we tried to fix recently.
I don't know what they mean by stuff. Look, if you have a
What's happening is when they load into the world, the bubble that is supposed to fade out.
well, we don't know if that's what they're talking about because they didn't say
It
that
it,
in the
it
question.
is because it. I read it. It's because of the local. They're stuck in local world. They're technically not stuck in local world because the visual is still there, and it's supposed to fade out. But for some reason, the connection or something is not allowing the animation to start.
Mm.
So knowing that it's still happening,
Well, we don't
it's good
know
to
if
know.
that's recent or not. What we really need is GitHub issues when you have issues like that. Just make a GitHub issue, so that we know like one the GitHub issue, even if it already exists, it lets us know when you're having that issue, right? So if we have previously fixed it and it's been a while since it's checked and you still think it's a problem, then check it again, and if it is, then we can reinstate that issue. But I mean,
Yeah.
we've taken some steps, I think, to mitigate that thing or fix it recently. So hopefully it shouldn't be a problem.
Did it
And
happen?
going forward, it's going to be completely different anyway.
Yeah, my question to you, did it happen this month, last month, at the very least? Because I think we started fixing it over in February. But also, one of the other things I wanted to mention too is they were also talking about like a menu to switch between like game or AviDev or regular user. Uh, The thing with how Resonite works, it's more or less a platform as well as a piece of software. When you first open Blender, not everyone is going to use all the tools right away, and they don't need to. They're there. Say if you're good at sculpting, you just only touch the sculpting tools or texture tools or whatnot. It's all there. It's just not always like active. The only ways to really edit things within Resonite is to use the tools. And one thing I noticed that some people don't really either are used to is the fact that you're in a world where people can work on things while there's other people just hanging out. Like I can just edit my avatar in the same time as like within a conversation or something. It's pretty much the same thing if somebody's uh, in their garage working on like a bike or something, and then other people are just hanging out in the same area. You have those tools and those like uh, like drawers or whatnot. Not everyone knows how to use it. Or even like if you walk into like a scientific like lab, you can technically take those tools onto like the field, for example. I don't know, you need like a centrifuge or something for like there, and you have someone working on something while you're hanging out with other people. The fact that like these
Um,
tools aren't specifically separated into another uh, program is what some places don't really have because of how they're set up as like a platform. Closest things that have this collaborative view or like multiplayer editing experiences have been places where you can like spawn out objects wherever you are. Sometimes things like Gmod is a good example where there's tools you can spawn in and edit things while other people are just messing around with things. Or Second Life is also another one that comes into play. Another one is Halo's Forge mode where you can test the map while other people are editing it simultaneously.
mhm.
So, yeah.
Well, one of the things someone mentioned was like the menu thing, right? Which is what we started the conversation on.
Yes.
And something that is similar to that, it's not quite, I think, what they were asking, but that's what we made the help menu for. Um, is a place where someone can go to. It's like a kind of in-game facts or wiki type thing. There's still parts of it that we need to make, and those things are being worked on in the background. But for the most part, if they want to know something, they can learn a lot in just this area. And if there's stuff people think we should add to it, they can just make a GitHub issue for it, and we'll see if we can add those things to the help menu.
Yeah.
Um,
The
there's a
help
lot of things in there already.
the help menu is something supplementary to the tutorial, and as well as tutorial
Mm-hmm.
worlds will have that like uh, additional places where people can learn. And when they go through a tutorial to learn how to use Resonite, they start off with the basic stuff. First is kind of like what you would expect in a VR game. Do you want to teleport or walk, run, snap or smooth turn? From the very basics of that to then basic interactions, walking around, jumping, crouching, uh, interacting with objects as well too, how to duplicate, how to destroy, how to undo and redo stuff. It's like even if you're not a builder, you're gonna want to know that, because if you bring in an image or a model or a video, you're gonna want to know how to move that around, scale it up, scale it down, and like undo. Oh shoot, I accidentally deleted the video and whatnot, or an image.
Question.
And
I have a few answers for that one.
yes, before I forget, the once they're done with the tutorial, people will be able to go to either find other people, build their world to learn tools and all that, or whatnot.
Yep. Part of the new tutorial experience, there's going to be some choice in it. So once they're done with the required stuff, they'll be able to, like I just said, choose whether or not they want to just leave the tutorial, or if they want to go and take more in-depth tutorials for like editing tools or other parts of Resonate.
And one thing, like, I'd also mention too, is a lot of the things about the menu is like it's still vague. It's best to put it in the GitHub or describe what in particular is overwhelming them. Because comparing the dashboard to other platforms is fairly similar. Is it the fact that it's completely different than another platform and it's alien to them as they come in, and it's not taught to them in pieces, is why they're overwhelmed. That might be a thing too. Instead of changing the UI to be a more simpler one, depending on what it is, that might help. As with all, like your dashboard, for example, you have a desktop view that you can use, or session settings that you can access if you have, you know, things to adjust on the world. You have an inventory, your contacts you'll need to find your friends, worlds to see what worlds to traverse, albeit every single one of these menus, like even the settings menu already has had that like polish and update where it's more organized, easy to navigate. That even in its current state, it's best to guide a user piece by piece how this UI is put in. After like learning the in-world interaction parts of Resonite, whether it be interacting with objects or yourself, whether it be like scaling or locomotion, users going to learn the basics of their UI as well. Some of it technically already so, because of the radio menu deals with those interactions. Having that introduced to the player gradually over time so that they're not just thrown in. Because when I first, for example, learned Blender, there is no simple UI for Blender, but I
I mean,
focused on one thing.
one of the things that we wanted to do with the dash specifically for the tutorial and the context menu too is we're going to be implementing like a method to disable or like gray out the things that they don't need to interact with. So they're taught the dash and the context menu and stuff like that in pieces, like Aegis was talking about, and they'll be physically disabled. Like you won't be able to like interact with them until you learn about them. That way, it just makes it a little bit easier than not accidentally pressing buttons that change things. Like if they accidentally press seated mode or streaming camera or the full body setup, like you know, a lot
Yeah,
easier. Also, we had a question by SNB8272. So, can we get Resonite currency that is literally just a bucket of resin? So I think us on the team and I think some community members have talked about how it would be fun to have like a currency back. Not like anything just real, just we had like a fake one before. Um and that was fun to use for like games and things like that. But given the tools that we have now, people can kind of just make that on their own. The community can just make whatever currency they want. Um and use it for their game. You could even go as far as making like a facet that shows how much you have. You could just have that in your dash.
like if you
Um,
make like an RPG, you want to like have like a
mhm.
certain amount of gold to like get an item within that game. You can set up like a cloud variable for it. Next time you load in the game, you have all your save data pretty much.
Yep. Cloud variables, like they are said, are stored on the cloud. So those numbers, or whatever thing you make a cloud variable, those will be stored for however long the person has them there for. Um, you'd probably need some like extra securities if you wanted to make it for a game. That way, people can't just like go to another world and just increase their currency. Um, but you could just have like Protoflex that checks for certain markers to actually like add it.
We think
And
of
I
something
think
for
people
April
making
Fools. We'll see.
I think like seeing being able to see like a community make currency would be cool. Like if someone wants to make some sort. Does aren't there some places that use one?
I Elysium has like their own kind of like system similar to what I was saying about like a cloud variable system saving.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And a few
Yeah,
other
that'd be neat.
places too. Grand K asks, will you be rating someone at the end of the stream? I can figure out how to rate someone at the end of the stream. Depends on if someone's streaming Resonite or something similar. As for the next question here too, from Satan. Decoys live.
That's a good one. I kind of like this question.
Hello, the official Resonite tools, and technically not just them, you'll see them other places too, have a mysterious slot named with a number like uh 10 or 1004. What does it mean? What is its purpose? Should we use it in custom tools / multi-tools?
It's a
So,
secret.
the thing is,
No.
the first digit in there, the 1 is not a 1. It's an I for iteration. Blame the font for having the I look like a lowercase l.
Yeah.
I just
Uh,
whoever thought that was a good idea for fonts in the first place, uh, why?
that is technically the tool's serial number. So, when we make a change to a tool or we update it or do anything to it, we iterate that number. So, the higher that number is, the more times we've had to change or edit that tool. Um, and pretty much everything we make has those little tags on it. You either do it through a slot or a license component, but yeah. And I think that versioning is something that people should do with their objects as well, so you can keep track of like when you made it and what changes are done to it, so you can go back and forth.
Also, no. Maybe on April Fools. We'll see.
I mean, you could just do that if you wanted to. You
Yeah,
just make a
you
thing that
could.
changes the font chain to Comic Sans, and there you go.
Even world based font, you could change it too. Yeah. Um. Oh no, I like the font we have. I wish there was a version of the same font, but with like an I that actually is distinguishable.
Wingdings and Spectre. I've actually seen someone do that. Back when we had like the font mesh generation stuff set up, people were bringing in all kinds of fonts and changing the world font. Um, somewhere I have a world that is literally just Minecraft Skyblock, and it has the font chain is like I think it's called Pixel Miners, which is the like free version of the
Oh
Minecraft
yeah, I
font.
remember importing that one as I was finding it for you. Why is this not working?
What are you trying to do? Are you trying
Oh,
to
hold
replace
on.
the font chain?
Static font.
Yep. It's the ones below it. Because it's the yeah, you replace those and that drives everything else. Although things like the board here have their own font chain in the
Ah, I
canvas.
see.
So you'll need to open the canvas for it. Aegis is changing the font chains.
As I'm trying, I'm just like see if I can.
Let's see here.
Why is it not changing? Oh, it changed the title. I see.
Let's see here. I don't know how to position it on the camera because my view on the camera is different than
Oh, here we
Aegis's.
go.
But SNB8272 asks about cloud variables. I have concerns about data limits or storage. Does it use the user storage or store for storing the data, or is it stored directly on Resonite server and or through the world data? Essentially how much data can we store? Uh, I'm actually not sure where it stores the data. If it was storing it on your like storage, I don't think it would really be all that much. I mean, you're literally just storing mostly text or strings, or even just numbers. So that'd probably be like what, kilobytes worth of data. You can store a lot in there,
What
like a
other kind
text
of
document.
fonts? This is a font. Yes, we need it.
I believe you can also delete them. It's a little bit more in depth to delete cloud variables, because I believe you have to send like a command for it. Um,
Oh, that was testing the bold. Okay, that's why.
but yeah, I mean, you can make a bunch of them. I think I still have like a ton from when we were doing things like the Fine Movie Project, and some other things in the later half of it. Some of those pieces were actually made like cloud variables. I remember when they were first added because I believe we needed them for Sojourner, wasn't that?
I believe so.
Um, because we needed them to like talk through worlds and be persistent and stuff like that, especially since we were doing like at the time we were doing a giveaway or helping do a giveaway that was going to be synced
Oh,
for
oh.
different people in a bunch of different worlds. I don't think it likes to render those characters.
I found the.
Oh, it's only capitalization. That's why. There's no lowercase letters in that font.
There we go. I found that Minecraft font. I'm gonna
See,
have
there you go. You just
fun.
change everything.
Yeah, let's change it to this. See if we can understand this.
Ooh,
Glitch bats.
that's a font stroke font.
Yep, I do have some of those.
I remember when I was using that website, I actually remade like Skyrim's Dragon language in it because they
Dear
didn't have it
God.
on there, and I really wanted it.
Undertale Deltarune font. There you go.
So large.
Okay, I gotta find something that's read. Okay, let's
And
see.
by the way, Aegis is basically just changing like the actual like font chain font. So that's changing everything. Um well, the canvas also has a chain in it, but you could change like a whole world's font or just the fonts on some of your menus, or you know, just the canvases that you're using. Pretty fun. Especially if you're trying to set up like a style for a world. I like this font. This one's like easy to read for me.
Uh, I coincidentally have something similar. Wait,
I mean, once we get collections, I think that might make some of the data storage stuff a lot easier, because then you could just like make a collection in the world, give it an ID, and then do that through cloud variables.
oh, it's a terminal font. Actually, looks pretty good. Very readable. That one is pretty wide though. What other crazy? Well, that's an outline
Um,
font. That'll be
wasn't there some other things we're using cloud variables for, like the default avatar? Doesn't that use cloud variables?
colors,
Mm-hmm.
color
Like
customization.
everyone's like default avatars can be set for like a custom color that is cloud variable based.
That one actually is. Wonder what's more Yeah, that one actually looks better.
I've been having to do a lot of stuff in the locales, so being able to read the fonts, nice. It's very helpful. Stuff like Sublime Text, you can just like change it.
Screw you. Just cursive, almost handwriting. No. I love the
I can
name of
actually
this
read
font.
that one.
It's called Chicken Fajitas.
Oh yeah, I remember that one.
It's a pretty good font, especially if you're making like a written down like board as like text or handwriting. It's pretty good.
I have one here. This one's terrifying. Uh, in fact, I don't recommend using it. I just want to show it. Where is it? This is it. I spawned it. There it is. Yeah. So you can tell by how long it took to spawn. Every time I pull this out, it has to like generate the mesh for it. It's very complex mesh. It might actually crash the world if you set it, so be careful.
Uh
Yeah, it's a very laggy font because it's very
oh. Oh, excuse me while I exit the world real quick, if I even can.
Oh, you're back.
Oh, I respawned instead of leaving the world. Alright, that works too.
I did say that it was a dangerous font.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Oh my
This is
goodness.
chat right now.
I'm surprised that we survived this. There were earlier versions of Resonite that could not handle this font at all. It would just not work. It would just crash the world. It's because it's high res. You generally want to not have high res fonts because it takes a while to generate the mesh for the characters.
Unless if you want to use it for like a title screen or like something very large. You want it detailed. And I am going to find a new one to migrate to. Something that isn't insane.
This one's also gonna be crazy. Let me get a good one. We got. What about this one? I think this is the hightail font. When it spawns. Oh, maybe not. I think this one might also be high res.
That'll probably be a clip, but figured why not?
I mean, the fonts are usually fine once they're generated. It's just like this one hasn't been pulled out in a while, so it needed to generate the stuff behind it. But once it's generated, it usually runs fine. I should kind of explain that a little bit as well. So Resonite doesn't use fonts like, or at least I don't think it uses fonts like other programs do. They're just kind of already set up, right? But when you pull one in here, Resonite does like its own thing where it generates the little character meshes. Fruix would be able to explain it a lot better than I can because they're the one that made it. But it sets that up for like new fonts that they render on any number of things in here and can be affected by a lot of the custom stuff that we have that affect fonts. They like made their own font rendering engine. It's pretty crazy.
Did you answer the question about the cloud variable stuff?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. If you want more like an in-depth stuff about technical stuff about cloud variables, it's good to poke Prime or Fruix about that. Oh man, I have
honestly
Brush King as well too.
SNB. The art team, because we're usually dealing with stuff in game and trying to figure out what's the best for performance, we also know what the worst things for performance are.
Oh, wait, hold on, I can't even. Oh, this one's crazy.
Did the one I spawned ever pop up? I don't think it ever popped up. That makes me worried about that.
That makes me concerned.
I'll try to spawn it again. I don't know if I would have answered that question. That's like a dangerous one.
Um,
We want to teach you how not to crash, though.
hmm. What was that
Nah.
one video that someone did? Is like, here's this button. Press it, it'll crush the world. Alright, what does it do? Just hear an explosion, that's it.
I made a button one time as a meme that just called the
Actually,
it does the same thing that the button in your dash does that sends you to your cloud home. It's the go home button.
this is my answer, actually.
Wow, true.
Async while true. Without an update node, or updates delay node.
Actually, you know what's funny?
Specifically without an updates delay node.
I've told this one a couple times, but for those that haven't heard it before, when we were working on the minimum movie project, Brooks gave me a like prototype protoflux node to use for like checking someone's ability to enter the world. It was like an API thing because we wanted to have it be like a ticket sales for the meta movie.
Was when
That's what they were
Signal R
trying to do
was
it on.
first developed.
No, I think it was before that.
So you're saying, okay, finish your story.
Yeah, this was like super prototype protoflux node. This was it was just calling like an API directly like in the actual node, I think. And so I didn't know that that's what it was doing. Um and we needed to check something in that world specifically because it was like important. And I wanted to make sure that didn't change or that its field was updated pretty much at all times. So I ended up hooking that node up to a an updates node. So it was calling it every frame that you were running for every person that was in the world. Uh,
So you DDoSed
yeah, I might have
the
accidentally DDoSed
cloud
the servers.
twice.
Yeah, I have
Because the
somehow
other
managed to accidentally DDoS the servers twice.
because the other time was when Signal R was first developed, and that was when we were having the Sojourner Island event,
Mm-hmm.
and that was using a similar method too, but a more up-to-date version, which ended up with the same kind of outcome
Yeah,
when we were testing it.
I was like, I need to know these things before you give them to me. I break
Yep.
things, but it's okay because that means that they don't break for other people. So if I break them first, then it's good.
Now, to kind of go back to that thing real quick, I'm gonna be playing with fire again. Yes. Just to demonstrate what they're talking about. This is a node. And it basically pulses or sends a signal when something is true. But this thing is is extremely dangerous if I go in and just activate it. Unless
While Aegis is setting that up, one of the other funny things that I wrote was when we were making I think it was the new version of the dash, or we were changing like the settings section for the platform, and we were getting all that set up. I ended up setting my dash open and close speed to a negative number. I'm the reason why you can no longer do that. It completely like inverts the dash, so that open is close and close is open, and you end up like not being able to do anything at all.
Okay, yeah. This diffused it. This node right here. So if I do this, I...
Are we about to explode?
No.
I don't know if I trust this.
If I go to next, this is fine. See? If I cut this wire, I die. If I bring this out, I could potentially die too. So, yeah. This at least adds a update delay. This is incredibly useful for having something that runs in a loop. We want something to constantly run in an asynchronous context. And I can like turn it on and off.
You know what would actually be really funny? If
Mouse.
someone made a game similar to the, you know, that one game that keep talking and nobody dies, the like bomb defusing game. Imagine that, except it's a cube covered in protoflux, and you need to hook up different nodes and different wires the correct way. There's like a different circuit on each side. That'd be great.
I'm just gonna leave this here. Oh, if only I could just easily scale it up like that.
If somebody makes that, let me know. I would love to make it if I had time, but we've been so busy working on things.
Actually, I wonder, can I just swap to the regular version of this? Yes.
Oh.
I'm just gonna have
I
that
usually
run.
never use loops. I mean, I haven't really had a case where I needed to use a loop. Well, there was one thing specifically that I used loops on. Let me go grab it. It's actually in the Resonite tools, under miscellaneous.
I've
You'll
used
see...
loops
Oh, wait, it's
for
gone.
tools and vehicles.
Oh no, it's in custom. There it is. So there's this thing, which I still need to do a little bit of work on. But if you're ever making like a map that has a lot of similar assets, you can just drag and drop the name and where it goes, the slot and whatnot into this thing, and it'll either reparent the items or replace the items, whichever one you want. And this thing uses a loop. I think it's using like a for loop. But yeah, very handy tool. We use this all the time when making maps for Resonite. That's in the custom tools section of the Resonite Essentials.
You really want me to cut the wire? No. Just no.
See, that's why making that like bomb defusal game will be fun, because you could actually cut wires via the protoflux tool and everything. It's like, do I cut the slot wire, the green one, or the boolean wire, the black one, or the string wire, the red one? Different data types for different color wires. It'd be so funny. There's even different colors for like the numbers you like float, integer, double.
I'm not too affected by that with performance.
It only took 40 frames from me, but I have another 100 that I can sit on, so...
Wait. Is it better now? Also, you still have this in the background.
Yeah, probably not have that in here. Well, I mean, like I said, once it's there, it's usually fine. It's just generating it that's the issue. Oh man, I would love to see some games that actually use protoflux. Maybe that's what something we could do, because I wanted to make a game, and we have a bunch of ideas for it. They're slowly like cooking. Maybe we can have like a section of it where they have to like repair a panel, and they open the panel, and it's just protoflux wires, and they have to use the like protoflux tooltip to hook them back up or something.
Repair it,
rewire
yeah.
them. Yeah, it'd be funny.
Oh my god. No, not you. No. I'm not.
Oh, that'd be really funny too, because like they open the panel and it's just spaghetti. They have to like pull the wires out and arrange them. Why is there a node under the world? You know how many worlds where that node, like the one node sitting on their world, is load bearing? Metamovie had that for a little while because some of the buttons in there are just floating
Yes.
outside the map, so that the actors could press them whenever they were doing runs. So they're like load bearing cubes and buttons and stuff just sitting out in the middle of the void.
Like, it's technically not like an exposed node or unpacked node. It was plugged into like a random dev button out in the world. And honestly, I think we should have just labeled them better. I should
Yeah,
have
they were
labeled
just
them.
like green or red or white. They had no labels. They were just there.
It was the amount of time we had to, so yeah.
Yeah. A lot of that project, we were working on things like the day that they were running stuff. Um, One of the big changes we ever made to it was making it so that all the worlds were connected in the same world itself, not separate worlds. Because the first couple runs of that, all the different chapters were different worlds. And then I was like, I could just put all of these worlds in a single world and then make like a layer system for it. And I think that change made it so much more seamless. It was just so nice from there on. A little bit heavier for the world itself, but like it was a much better experience playing it.
We'll probably use something similar to that with some of the projects we're doing.
Mm-hmm.
Not for everything, but for some of it.
Yeah, like the new tutorial is definitely going to have something similar because it's gonna you have to go from layer to layer or from like world to world for the different environments, so it's gonna be cool.
Mm-hmm. And when it goes to more like advanced tutorial or like extended tutorial stuff, that's where like an actual world that you traverse to will come into play.
You know what we should do?
Hmm?
We should have a protoflux node that checks for an asset, and it's just a PNG of a coconut.
At that point, you may as well just have it like check a specific URL or like yeah, asset URL. That way, it could be anything.
Mm-hmm.
Load
If they remove
bearing.
the asset URL, it's just gone. See, I don't know why, but this is holding up the entire world.
If you delete this coconut PNG, the game will not work.
Should do with a picture of the gloopy.
Actual question your team probably doesn't have the answer to yet, or in general. Inbuilt
Oh,
physics engine
the
when?
bird raid with 52
Probably
people. Hello.
sometime in the future. Also, hello.
Oh, so what? On the physics question or physics engine question, it's already in the game. It's already here.
Technically.
You already have it. So
Technically.
we are already running the physics engine that we want to be using. The only thing is that the rigid body physics of that part of it are not turned on, and that's because they still need work with like networking and a bunch of crazy other things for like uh, just managing the interactions between all those objects. Um, so it's not the most performant thing to have turned on. If you want to simulate it, character controllers, you can make them act like rigid body physics. I have a little prototype thing here that I can pull out. I show this out sometimes. Here we go. I don't know how well it's going to work in this room. But each one of these pieces of this cube, which I have fractured in like Blender, have character controllers set up to act like basically ice. So if I click this button, whoop, all these pieces fall on the ground, and they are actually like physics objects.
Our
They're not just like
cube is broken.
yeah. They interact with anything that can be hit by a character collider. They'll run into walls, and if you have stuff that moves character colliders, it'll move them.
Where's the flux?
And they're that's
Oh,
right.
reset it.
Oh, you have to like delete it and respawn it. It's very weird.
Spawn it out again? Let's put it
Yeah,
by
let
that
me grab it.
staircase so we can like
Here we go.
let's see
So
here.
this is just showing that like you can do this kind of stuff. It's not. It doesn't play well with the network, but yeah, it's still in the game. We just need to make it more efficient so that it can be used more widely. Things like the vehicle template and a lot of the cars that people have made also use some similar stuff. Like when Aegis is walking around, I think they like move the little cubes. It's funny. I saw you like bump into one earlier.
I think it bumped into a collider. I also bumped into this way.
But yeah, showcasing the physics engine.
as well as the
I think from
lasers
what people
and like interactions from that also utilize the physics
the
system.
Beppu, yeah.
Yep.
Now, I think there's a panel or a piece of paper that Fruits made that shows like the tech tree, and I think the physics engine's on there. So there's some things we need in front of that before we can really set that up. There's not really a time frame for it because a lot of the things we're doing don't we can't make time frames for them.
Yeah, it's unpredictable depending on like how things might interact with other things, how long like those said requirements would take to make.
Mm-hmm.
For example, right now, also other things are also prioritized, like the IK system, which is the next thing being worked on. Fuchs right now is finishing the open source process of the rendering software that is connected to Resonite. Not the rendering engine itself, but the thing that communicates with Unity and pipes that to Resonite and gets the data from Resonite to Unity. Decoy, since you also speaking of Decoy, who rated us, thank you. They made a wonderful video recently that kind of explained the different engines as well too. Ah,
The bird raid. Another thing I want to remind people is that like Resonite is such a unique piece of software that when it comes to making stuff for it, there isn't anything we can really look to or reference, right? So if you're making like a first person shooter, there are so many games that you can look at how they're set up and how they implemented certain things and how things work. And while we can do that for some stuff in here, there's a lot of systems that are interacting in ways that they don't interact in other games. So setting stuff up that seems simple isn't quite that simple. Because we often need our own like bespoke version of that thing for it to work correctly, or for it to work the way that it needs to inside the program to like complete or to go along with our vision for what we want to set up here.
this is making me like with the different font on here is making me want to like make it Resonite. Reso 98
Like
version of it.
from what I was saying, like that's why Fruits made their own particle system. That's why he made their own text renderer. So like and the audio thing, the
Audio system that was
audio, yeah,
in Photon Dust.
yeah. That's what I was saying. The particle system, photon dust.
Yes.
But
Oh,
all of
okay,
those had
okay,
to be
yeah.
like made bespoke or even just like edited, so that we could use them for Resonite specific use case. And that's kind of stuff we just gotta figure it out, you know?
Yeah.
'Cause it's
These
not any other way.
pieces have been used by like other, like the fact that these components are used in different programs as well, like game engines or games in general, we have to implement it in a different perspective.
Especially like making them future proof as well. Because when we add something, we want to make sure that someone 20 years from now is going to be able to use this thing how they, would normally use it. Or if someone built something, like, a number of years ago, they can still open it and it'll still function. So people don't have to worry about their content breaking.
Similar to how Blender does it, where it tries its best to convert everything to a newer format. If you bring like a model probably
Mm-hmm.
straight from Blender 2.79, for example, all the way to Blender 5.
Yeah, like what Deco was saying, there's not a really good there's no workflows for us to look at in reference.
The
We just have to make
closest
our
is
own workflows.
game engines, but it's also a platform. But it's
Mm-hmm.
also a game engine.
This also bleeds into like the business side of things too, because um, we can't really market like other games do. We can't like do like business type things like other businesses do, because we can't really put timelines on things because we don't actually know how long it's going to take until we actually start doing that thing. And it's not until maybe we're like really deep into that part of that subject that we know when it's going to really be done. So when it comes to things we haven't even started working on yet, we could not tell you when it's going to happen. We just know that there's a couple of things we need to do before it, and that's kind of as good as it gets, I think.
Yeah, and I just remembered something too with the IK being worked on. Currently, we're using a code library for IK called Final IK, and since it's a like proprietary code, it's kind of hard to kind of adjust something that we can't really control in regards of how the fundamentals of that code is, but having the thing written from scratch, which means you have more fine-tuned controls and good defaults to have right from the get-go once it's all set up and released to the public. And Fuchs already has a name for it called Strike Pose as well.
Hmm.
I know some of the other things he was talking about too is on the horizon after IK is most likely collections to be next. Though that depends on, well, what are the priorities then?
I think it's going to be really cool once we get the new renderer stuff set up, because not only is that going to be like we're not only are we going to have a new renderer to use, right? But it's going to open up Resonite for the ability to use multiple renderers and people using multiple renderers interacting with each other, which I don't think I've ever seen another program do other than maybe what comes to mind is Second Life, where they had different like viewers, I think they were called. But I'm not sure they were on the like same level as like what we would do with that. So you could have a custom renderer for custom styling that you want your version of that platform to look like. That's going to be really cool. Like maybe you want one that's more set on performance that has a lot of like post processing turned on, or maybe you want one that's so high performant that you have like ray tracing and things. I have no idea what's going to happen. So we'll only have to see what people do once the renderers become a little bit more easy to work on and the kind of things people do with them. DLSS 5 on.
Oh no.
I have no idea what people would do. I mean, back in the day when I had tried out Second Life, there was one that I was using a particular viewer over the default one that just had like I think it was Reshade was built into it or something like that, but it had a bunch of extra settings that the normal one didn't for graphics options like depth of field and lighting and stuff like that. That way you could set up like cool pictures or do recordings or anything like you know, um, and kind of like media creation stuff. Let's see what time is it? Oh, we're actually like 20 minutes over. We had fun talking.
Yeah. Well,
Let me go grab the panel. It was good to
yeah.
have y'all. If there's anyone that you want us to rate, just let us know. We can try to figure that out.
I'm gonna
But I
scroll
think
up to that one
Decoy already
message so I
rated
can.
us. While he just gets that set up, I just want to say a big thank you to these supporters. Um, we wouldn't be able to do what we're doing and build what we're building without the support of everyone here. That's what lets us be able to do this as like full-time jobs and make sure that we can get this place running and working to the best that we can.
Stream dashboard, click on raid, and then select a stream that you want to raid. Okay, I see. That's how I did it.
Cool.
That means I have to.
We'll see if we can grab someone and then yeah. We hope you guys have a good day. Make sure to stay hydrated.
Instantly mute. There we go. Now I don't hear myself. That's good. I go to the stream dashboard.
I think they're sending you people to raid. Bye-bye!
So for Ash the Blade this year for arts. Okay, let's take a look here. I have not done this before, so. Jeez. Ah, there we go. I see the button. It looks like a. Wait, did that just raid them? Oh, okay, I see.
You where?
Let's see here. Alrighty. I'm gonna send you off in a spaceship, I guess. You all take care and have a wonderful evening or morning. Bye-bye.
They tried to give me a mango. We should do an art stream with those commands turned on. That'd be funny.
Being pushed
Haven't done that in a
forward
while.
through here because this section here is supposed to be on the hips. So
And there we go. Oh, I forgot okay. Yeah, that works.
We good?
Destination. Welcome to the stream, Raiders.
wait, I just got raided.
Oh wow.
Which wire were you not supposed to cut?
Welcome in, raiders.
Hi. Ring.
Eh, I just got booped.
Ring.
I got raided by.
Ring.
Oh,
Oh my Jesus.
oh, I got raided.
Ring.
Wait, raided by Resonite app? What? Oh, hi. Hello.
You still alive?
Hello, raiders. Wow, a bunch of people.
I think I can guess which stream of these raiders came from.
I need to. I
Ring.
don't have a moderator, so I have to do this manually.
Ring.
Yeah.
Oh.
The Resonite art team did the thing.
Thank you for the follow. Oh yeah, a Resonite app is what. Oh geez.
Ring.
Thank you for the follow. Big Mr. Raccoon, Director Pumpkin, and Uncle Gibbets.
Hello?
Thank you so much. I have to
Successfully
do
raid.
the
Okay, good.
the shout out thing.
We're not live anymore?
I